A new bill submitted to empower and embolden the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives, the ATF. This bill would let them be more powerful and infringe more on our rights. Want to know more about it? Stick by and watch this episode of Guns and Gadgets. Hey everybody, welcome back to Guns and Gadgets, the premier source for Second Amendment news. I hope that you're having a fantastic weekend, and I think that you need to know about this bill. If you're looking for Second Amendment news, this is where you're going to find it, so please consider subscribing to the channel. You can always help out by smashing the thumbs up and sharing it with about 500 people. That'd be great. Before I jump into this, I want to thank somebody, Steven, over at Route 66 Mad Graphics. This randomly showed up in my post office box, and if you guys and gals want to know about the post office box, it's in the description of every video. But he sent some pretty cool vinyl graphics, and I didn't know they were coming. It was an awesome surprise, and they are fantastic. And so, Steven, thank you very much. And if you guys or gals have something to send to the channel, the P.O. box is right down below. Thank you. Okay, today is November 1st. The election's only 2 days away, and down here in southern New England, I live on the border basically of Mass, Connecticut, and Rhode Island, there was scuttlebutt about a possible purge in Providence, Rhode Island. I guess the kid who was doing it got jammed up about it, but there were a lot of people scared, legitimately scared, because this stuff is going on, and in 2 days this country could pop off. This is a powder keg, and bad things will probably happen. And I just want you guys and gals to be safe. That's why I always say, you know, be safe, stay vigilant, carry a weapon. And to that, I want to remind everybody, you should be securing your future. God forbid you ever have to utilize a weapon for armed self-defense. Join the USCCA. You can always find the link in the description of every video. It's uscca.com/GNG. I think it is absolutely huge to do, especially right now before all this stuff pops off. Be prepared now instead of having to scramble later. And especially for all of you new gun owners, get yourself some training, get yourself some security with the USCCA. You can do both there. And if you're new to the gun world, check out Big Daddy Unlimited. They're a big sponsor of this channel. Their in-stock inventory is growing constantly, and you will see a giveaway here on this channel with Big Daddy Unlimited in the next coming days, so that's another reason to subscribe here. I think you're going to like this one. All right, let's get into this bill with the ATF. It is brand new. It does not have a bill number yet, but it is a shot across the bow. Why do I say that? Well, if you've watched any of my videos regarding Joe Biden and his gun control plan, I'll have those videos linked above. If you've watched any of those videos and you've been paying attention to what the ATF's been doing in the last 2 months regarding the pistol brace with Q issue, or the most recent changing the definition for pistols on imports and leaving that area vague so that it could be applied to people who already own stuff, this bill looks like it was custom made to not only allow that stuff to happen, but to empower it and to make the ATF that much stronger and wealthy. So let's get into it. I have a bunch of notes because there's a lot in this bill. It's 18 pages long. I will link it down below if you want to read it, but I have the highlights of it. This was submitted by Senator Chris Van Hollen, and the title of this bill is the ATF Improvement and Modernization Act of 2020, also called the AIM Act. All right, so this would give money and power to the ATF in ways that have not been seen before. It would remove limits on sharing trace data. Trace data is information used in firearms crimes, and it would seek to share that in ways that we'll go through a little bit here, but just know that this data, what they want is they want it to get out to people who aren't supposed to have it so that it can be used to sue firearms manufacturers and retailers out of existence. They saw what happened with Remington, and they're salivating. They know they can do it again. And by getting the information that shouldn't be allowed to go out, they can manipulate those numbers and look to allow lawsuits, which Joe Biden it's on his plan, to allow citizens to sue firearms companies because of something that an individual criminal did. Makes a lot of sense. But this bill will absolutely allow that to happen. It also vastly changes the structure of the salaries and expenses, meaning they will grow ridiculously if they have an administration that so wants more gun control. It also will allow the ATF to farm out some of their work to other government agencies so they can focus more on screwing you and me. The bill also seeks to allow for indefinite retention of NICS data. Now, for those of you who might be new gun owners, NICS data, when you go to purchase a firearm, you are run through the background check via NICS, and the FBI has to destroy that information because there's a law against the federal registry. Well, this bill would look to change that and allow the ATF to retain that information forever. That would be a federal firearms registry. It also looks to eliminate the Tiahrt Amendment. The Tiahrt Amendment, for those who aren't aware, is directly related to the trace data I spoke about moments ago. Currently, trace data is legally restricted from being given out to anybody that's not a law enforcement agency or a prosecutor who are doing an investigation. It's not just given out to CNN because they're nosy. It's specific in who can utilize that data. The Tiahrt Amendment also blocks that legally released data to law enforcement agencies or prosecutors from being admissible in court against firearms manufacturers and dealers, because we all know that information gets out even when it's not supposed to. So the Tiahrt Amendment protects that information from being used in court maliciously to sue gun manufacturers or retailers. This bill also changes the revocation standards for the federal firearms license, the FFL. It makes it much easier to revoke FFLs or deny new applications because they want to tell you what you get to do. The AIM Act also allows the ATF to compel FFLs, gun dealers, to be forced to participate in physical inspections of their inventory and records. And then the ATF will come in to back that, follow that up. And if there's a discrepancy, even if the dealer knows about it, meaning this gun is on loan and I just didn't put it in my book, then that would allow the ATF to revoke their license. This bill would also allow the government to deny application for imports of curio and relics. And it's not just curio and relics, it's also what they're saying non-sporting purpose shotguns. You can see here that they're trying to reduce the amount of firearms that are available to John Q. public, which would also make firearms that much more expensive because look what's going on right now. The demand is much greater than the supply, so that causes things to go up. Let me look at ammo. I mean, if you want a couple cases of 5.56, you got to basically sell a car now, and it will only get worse if things like this are allowed to happen. Here's a pretty shady one. The bill would also allow the ATF to deny FFL applications and renewals based on the lack of business. So because you have a lack of business activity, and they get to decide what that is if you're not selling enough firearms, or say your business is struggling and you've only could sell a couple that year, well, then they could arbitrarily decide who in America can be a business owner because you didn't sell enough in their eyes or do enough business, then they would revoke your FFL. Another terrible one, and this is, if you watch the videos here, you'll see that this is the second attempt here. This would allow the ATF to search the records of out-of-business FFLs. And why is that a thing? Well, because once an FFL goes out of business, then according to the Gun Control Act, they're no longer required to keep records because they're no longer an FFL. Well, the ATF wants to change that and wants to search those records. This bill is packed with terrible things. They also want to remove the search restriction for records from FFLs that are submitted electronically. These guys and gals are pushing hard to make a registry so that they know who owns what and where it is. And don't forget, they just recently changed. I mean, officially goes into effect today, the 1st of November, the new 4473 form, where all of your pertinent information, as well as the firearms you are buying, are on that top of the first page that we fill out now. So when they come through and they do a quick scan like they've been doing years past, and they take their little photographs so that they can remember what they're doing when they get back to the station or the office, now they're making a registry, right? I mean, why else would you need that information? So we all need to be aware that there is now a bill out there to empower the ATF to give them as much money as possible to infringe on everything they can. This bill wants to remove a whole bunch of restrictions on the ATF and basically allow them to go do whatever they want and become extremely powerful. It's an extremely dangerous bill. Ladies and gentlemen, please, if you haven't already, get out and vote. Preferably go out and do it physically. Show up and vote. If you can't, make sure you hand in your ballot. In my area of Massachusetts, we're already seeing chicanery when it comes to ballots. And I know it's happening in other places. I read the headlines just like everybody else. Prepare for some tomfoolery in election night and the days after. Hopefully it doesn't happen. All right, guys and gals, if you did get anything out of this video, please hit the thumbs up, share it with everybody. And if you want Second Amendment news as fast as that happens, please subscribe to the channel and join this growing freedom family. I'm extremely grateful for all of you. I want you to make sure that you're safe. Prepare yourself for any tomfoolery that happens in the election night and the days after. And because of that, make sure you be safe. Make sure you stay vigilant, and make sure you carry a weapon. Take care, everybody.